This is it. The final chapter of the Make Money Online Challenge 2.0. We don't have time to waste anymore because the truth is no one is coming to save you. And with only 90 days left in 2025, that is the decision that you have to face right now. If nothing changes, you are going to finish the year exactly the same way that you started it. So this isn't about motivation, it's about decision. You either disappear and come back ungovernable in 90 days, or you keep repeating the same patterns that have already cost you January, cost you summer, and are about to cost you another entire year. Today, I'm gonna show you why 99% of people stay stuck in learning mode, lost in endless consumption that feels like progress, but never actually moves the needle, and how to flip that into earning mode with a 3-step system to become ungovernable. A system built to break you out of the cycle of just consuming and drive you into daily actions that build unstoppable momentum and hand you the leverage to turn 90 days into results most people waste years chasing. This isn't theory. You've already seen what's happened to the students of our last challenge. 8.9 million in tracked earnings generated in 90 days. And for the first time ever, I am unveiling something that gives you the unfair advantage no one else has shown you before. And by the end of this episode, you will either commit to becoming ungovernable, or you will understand exactly why you are choosing to stay where you are. So with that being said, let's get started. Look, let's call it as it is. We are in the last episode of our challenge here, and this one is going to be very different from the rest so far. Okay, we have about 90 days left in 2025, and we need to decide what we are going to do in those 90 days. Today is all about decision. Today is about taking matters into your own hands and deciding if you will commit to making this work or not. By the end of today, you're either going to be 100% convinced that this is your path forward and ready to take that decision, or you're going to decide that this is not for you. Either way, you would have made a decision. That is our target for today. And we've also added a very special bonus that will help you tremendously in implementing the stuff that we're going to cover here today. At first, we weren't going to put this in here, but because of the results our current users have been getting with this, I believe that this can be truly helpful beyond any training that I could give you. But anyways, more about that later. Because the fact is, you don't need an entire year to succeed. Just a few days ago, you had no idea this challenge even existed. You didn't know about non-expert digital products. You didn't know that there was an exact step-by-step to create them from scratch using AI. You didn't know you could even monetize topics that you knew nothing about. Look at how much progress you've already made in just 5 days. Now imagine if we keep the same rhythm and extrapolate this timeline to 90 days instead of 5. How much further would you be 90 days from now? You see, we overestimate how much progress we can make in a week, and we underestimate how much progress we can make in 90 days. This is the principle behind the idea of disappearing and coming back in 90 days. So here's the deal. How about we stop pretending that someone is going to come and save us like we're in a TV show or something, because no one is going to make this happen other than yourself. So you either take responsibility to pick yourself up and make this work, or no one will. Now, you might be asking, but why 90 days? There is actual science behind this. You see, research shows that it takes between 66 to 254 days to form permanent habits. And 90 days hits the sweet spot where your brain can actually rewire itself for success. But here's the real reason 90 days is perfect. It's long enough in order for you to build momentum, but short enough that you cannot procrastinate. You can't tell yourself, oh, I'll start tomorrow, when you know every single day counts. If you set your deadline for December 31st, by the time everyone else is just starting to make their New Year's resolution, you would have already been a completely different person. This means that for the next 90 days, every single morning, you wake up asking, what can I do today that will help me closer to becoming ungovernable? While everyone else is mentally checking out for the year, ungovernable people see this as the ultimate competitive advantage, the prime time of the year to lock in and commit to their goals, while others are coasting, you are building, because they know that they don't need perfect conditions in order to start. So today is the day we kick off this 90-day intensive period of commitment to your goals. By the end of this session, you would have the exact blueprint to disappear for 90 days and come back ungovernable with results you can actually point to, because this isn't about spending 90 days just getting ready. It's about 90 days of action that lead to proof. Multiple products created, offers launched, and if everything goes well, sales coming in, and the work starts today. So when December 31st arrives, you will already have real results to show. Can you commit to this for the next 90 days? Commit to giving it to your best, okay? Giving this opportunity your best, whether that means putting 30 minutes a day into it, or if that means putting in 8 hours a day. If you can't make that commitment right now, Honestly, at this point, I just think it's best if you don't keep watching this video, okay? Because I know how this goes. I know that right now, part of your brain is already trying to find ways out. Maybe I don't have enough time. Maybe I should just wait until January. Maybe I'm not ready yet. Stop, okay? Just stop it. And that voice, that's exactly what's been keeping you stuck. That is the voice of someone who's been treating the idea of changing their life like a hobby. So right now, I need you to make that commitment. And if you truly mean it, if you can feel that conviction burning inside of you, type "I'm ready" in the comments right now. Because what I'm about to show you in the next few minutes will work only if you have truly decided that mediocrity is no longer an option. Over the past 4 days, we have built the foundations of your ungovernable future step by step. Day one, I showed you why right now is the best time in history to start an online business. We broke down what it means to be ungovernable versus living life at the mercy of others. You discovered the AI revolution, something we'll probably only experience once in our lifetimes, and why combining digital products with AI has created the biggest wealth window of our generation. Day two moved us from theory into action. I walked you through the 3-step AI synthesization system and showed you how to use AI to create your first non-expert digital product, even if you're not an expert and don't want to show your face. Day three revealed how to turn strangers into buyers for your digital product using the 3-step monetization system. You learn how to replace hope marketing with a predictable system that sells for you 24/7, transforming your product from a file on your computer into scalable business. And then on day four, Jason dove deep into the digital product strategies, revealing the advanced tactics and mindset shifts that turn complete beginners into consistent earners. Now, on day five, I'm going to show you how to take everything from the last 4 days, disappear for 90 days, and come back ungovernable. And we're going to do that together in 3 phases. Phase one is where we uncover why business problems are never just business problems, but rather personal patterns manifesting in your business. This is where I'm going to show you why 95% of people fail, even when they already know exactly what to do. Phase two is the 3-step ungovernable system. These are the 3 practical steps that will take you from being stuck in your head, consuming endless content, to actually making money online. When I talk about getting you unstuck from learning mode into earning mode, this is what I'm referring to, okay? And phase 3 is the execution window. This is where everything comes together. You're going to learn exactly how to lock in during the next 90 days and choose the path that determines how fast you succeed, or if you even succeed at all. I'm going to guide you through each step, or in each phase, step by step. No fluff, no theory, just the exact framework that separates the people who make it from the people who don't. By the end of today's session, you'll either be 100% ready to make the decision to commit to becoming ungovernable with a clear plan to get there, or you will understand exactly why you're choosing to stay where you are. So, are you ready to find out which person you truly are? All right. With that being said, let's step into phase one. From this point forward, it is not about learning tactics or strategies anymore. You already know enough of those. This phase is about pulling back the curtain on the real reason why 95% of people fail, even when they have the strategies and tactics, because success isn't stopped by business problems. It is stopped by personal patterns, okay? You need to understand this. I'm going to show you how those patterns have been silently sabotaging your progress, and why you have knowledge, and why having knowledge over strategies alone will never actually create results. Let me ask you a question. What was the last time, or when was the last time that you actually committed to something for 90 days straight, okay? And during those 90 days, did you keep taking consistent action daily, regardless of whether you were getting results you wanted or not? It's been a while, hasn't it? I'm sure you have done it before. Think about it. A habit, a difficult exam you had to take, or maybe it was in the gym. You have done it before. Okay, you've committed to something for 90 days every single day and kept going strong regardless of how you're feeling or the results you were getting. And when you spent 90 days straight executing, did you get a result or not? You did, right? Every single time. Now, tell me, okay? Tell me if this opposite situation also sounds familiar. You start strong in a new habit or a project for 2 to 3 weeks, then life just gets in the way. Maybe something happened, maybe you lost focus, whatever it was, you drifted back to old patterns and lost that consistency. In that case, how often did you get the result that you wanted? None. So tell me, do you think that that's a knowledge problem in that case, or an implementation one? Think back to January 1st. What goals did you have for yourself? Okay, what goals did you set? What big plans did you have? What happened to them? Okay, ask yourself these things. Was it really the lack of knowledge that stopped you from achieving them, or was it a personal limitation you put onto yourself? If you are being honest with yourself, the same personal limitations that stopped you in January are still stopping you right now in October, aren't they? And with about 90 days left in this year, those same personal limitations are about to cost you another entire year. You do not have business problems. You have personal problems that manifest in your business. If you struggle with consistency in your personal life, that exact inconsistency shows up in your business. If you avoid risk in small everyday decisions, that those same fears keep you from taking the bold steps that move your business forward. If you procrastinate on things you know you should do, your business mirrors that procrastination back to you with stalled growth and missed opportunities. Your business is never the root problem. It is just a scoreboard. The numbers, the results, the progress, or lack of it are nothing more than feedback on the patterns that you're running internally. And until you change those patterns, the scoreboard will not change either. And that is why there are going to be two types of people ending this year. Those who will arrive at 31st of December in the exact same financial position they were at on January 1st, and those who decide to disappear for 90 days and come back completely ungovernable. I told you today was about decisions, and our job here is to decide which one of those people are you going to be. Not the one you want to be, because that answer is obvious, but the one you actually decide to be, because every single decision requires action, and between wanting and deciding, there's a action gap that you need to bridge. I want you to paint this picture in your mind. It is December 31st. You are looking back at this exact moment, this exact video. Are you proud of the decision you made 3 months ago, or do you feel frustrated that nothing really changed? Did you wake up that morning with a sense of accomplishment, knowing you could actually that you actually followed through for 90 days, or does it feel depressing, like this was just another year that slipped away? Now, let me ask you three brutally honest questions. When that day comes, will you be the person who decided to act or the person who kept waiting? Will you be looking back at 90 days of consistent action and real results, or 90 more days of excuses? And will you feel the pride of knowing you chose decisively, or the regret of knowing you let indecision steal another year from you? Those answers should scare you, because here's the truth. If you do not break those personal patterns now, they won't just cost you 2025. No. They will cost you 2026, 2027, and every year after that. So if you want to break out of this cycle, that is exactly what I'm going to show you how to do next. So that was phase one. Now that we've actually diagnosed the real issue, it's time for the solution. You are about to learn the exact 3-step ungovernable system that transforms knowledge into results and confusion into clarity. This isn't more theory to consume, I should say. This is the implementation framework that makes success inevitable. That is what our phase 2 is about. Now, before we can come up with a solution to this problem, we need to understand what is causing it in the first place, because not being able to accomplish my goals is not a problem per se. It is a symptom. And if you don't identify the real cause, all of your attempts to fix it will just act like a band-aid, treating the symptom and not the root cause. And that is exactly why most people never accomplish their goals. All their solutions focus on managing symptoms instead of addressing this dysfunction underneath. So before we talk about solutions, let's get clear on the cause, because at the root, success or failure always comes down to how you learn and implement. And humans actually learn the same way machines do, through a precise 4-step process that is input, output, feedback, and adjusted input. Your input is the action you take, creating your first product, sending 100 outreach messages, publishing an Instagram reel. Input equals action, okay? Your output is the direct consequences of your actions. You launched your first product and got 3 sales, or maybe you got no sales at all. You sent 100 messages and got 10 responses. You published an Instagram reel, 10 people commented on it. Whether the result is good or bad, it doesn't matter. It is just data. Then you have feedback. This is where you learn from your output. Oh, when I send shorter messages, I got more responses. When I price lower, I got more sales, but less profit, okay? When I posted at 2 p.m., more people engaged. It is the learning lessons extracted from your results. And that leads us to adjusted input. This is your next action. That's going to kick off this cycle again, but this time adjusted by what you learn in the feedback stage. Send shorter messages next time. Test a higher price point. Post at peak hours. And now, here is where the problem lives. The reason why most people never accomplish their goals is because they're stuck learning, consuming endless information, but consuming is not input. Learning is not input. Learning is feedback. When you can only get feedback from output, okay? And you can only have output if you have input, an action that you take in the first place. This is the flow, okay? You understand the problem here. 95% of people consume endless information but never take action. So that cycle never starts. Without action, there's no input. Without input, there's no output. And that means that there are no results. And that's why so many people stay stuck. They confuse learning with action and end up trapped without ever getting the cycle started through consistent input. Can you see now why just knowing what to do is not enough? Why even if you take all this incredibly valuable content that I've shared in the last 4 days, you will never get a result if you do not create input. That is why my tone for this session, that's why the tone for today's session here is decision. We need to get you to decide to take action. Otherwise, none of the other days matter. Now, the second issue comes from those who do take action, but don't know how to extract the right conclusions from their results. They keep making the same mistakes without noticing because they can't properly evaluate the feedback from their output. Without quality feedback, guess what happens? You repeat the same mistakes indefinitely, wondering why nothing works despite all of your effort. You create your first digital product and launch it. That's your input. Real action, take it. You get 2 sales out of 100 people who saw it. That's your output, the direct result of your action, okay? Now comes the critical moment, feedback, and this is killer. For the few who do make it through the first issue and actually take action to get the cycle going, this is where they fail. Most people never get quality feedback to adjust their approach. Without quality feedback, you repeat the same mistakes indefinitely, wondering why nothing works despite all of your effort. You operate in a bubble, make assumptions about what's working based on your limited perspective. And this happens because you can't give yourself objective feedback, especially on something you have no experience with. It's very simple. You do not know what you do not know. So you can't really identify gaps in your own knowledge. You lack the experience to recognize patterns that are obvious to others. Here is what the cycle looks like for most people getting into online business for the first time. Input, you try drop shipping, let's say, for a week. You set up a store, run some ads, and that's it. Output, you get a few hundred visitors, 0 sales, and you spent $200 on ads. Feedback, you think drop shipping doesn't work. This business model is dead. Adjusted input, you then try crypto trading instead. Then the same cycle repeats. Input, you buy a crypto course. You start trading for 2 weeks. Output, you lose $300 on bad trades. Feedback, you say, oh, crypto is too risky. I need something more stable. Adjusted input, you try affiliate marketing, okay? Do you see the pattern? Where is the problem in the cycle? And the problem is in the feedback stage, okay? Just because you didn't make money doesn't mean the business model doesn't work. You probably just needed to adjust your approach, maybe test different products, improve your ads, or give it more than 1 week. But without external feedback from someone who knows what they're doing, you default to the conclusion of this business model is broken. So you jump to the next opportunity and repeat the exact same cycle because you are going to make the same mistakes just with a different business. Do you see how until you address the actual root cause of the problem, you will keep repeating this pattern and facing failure after failure? The root cause is not the business model, okay? The root cause is the lack of quality feedback to adjust your inputs, okay? This is the actual issue. So now that we understand the root cause of our problems, here is how we're going to fix it. As we covered before, your business results are a direct reflection of your personal operating system. You can't upgrade your business without upgrading yourself first. If you want to become ungovernable in the next 90 days, the upgrade has to start here with your operating system. So what does that look like in practice? An ungovernable individual compresses years of progress into months. While most people spend weeks stuck in their very first attempt, the ungovernable run through dozens of iterations in the same amount of time. And the reason is simple. They made a decision. Not a wish, not a someday, but an actual decision, okay? Every real decision demands action. Action becomes input. Input produces output. Output generates feedback, okay? This is it. Feedback loops back into a new input and the cycle accelerates. That's why the ungovernable separates so quickly from everyone else. While 99% of people are still preparing, studying, getting ready, the 1% who are ungovernable are going through dozens of iterations of the cycle, learning more at each feedback loop and compounding their wins at each new iteration. One single decision pulled them out of learning mode and pushed them into earning mode. And once that line is crossed, you don't just move differently, you operate on a completely new paradigm. Isn't that exactly what you want? That momentum that makes progress inevitable instead of something that you have to force. So how do you actually install that operating system? How do you become that person who operates in this new paradigm? Well, it comes down to 3 specific personal upgrades. Now, the first upgrade builds directly on that decision. As we've seen, most people don't fail because they lack knowledge. They fail because they never create enough input in the first place. They drift in and out of effort. They start strong for 2 or 3 weeks, then disappear when motivation fades. They stall before the loop can even work for them. So how do you fix this? Well, here is the insight I need you to take away. The easiest way to achieve consistency over these next 90 days and finally go from learning mode into earning mode is to commit to one single daily action. Not 10 things, not a giant to-do list, one thing, okay? So here's the question you need to answer. What is the one action you're going to take today that moves your business forward? Then tomorrow, answer again, and the next day, the next, until you build out a full 90-day plan of daily actions that you're going to take. That is how you build momentum. That is how you create compounding progress, because this is the real shift. When you act daily, you are no longer stuck in learning mode, waiting for the right time. You have crossed into earning mode, where every action, every input generates output, and every output gives you feedback to improve the next action. When you simplify consistency down to one action a day, then overwhelm disappears. Suddenly, you're no longer trying to be disciplined. You're just following a simple rule that forces you to act regardless of how you feel. And when you attach that to a concrete deadline, a specific launch day within the next 90 days, everything changes. You stop overthinking. You stop chasing perfection, okay? The clock is ticking, and every day has a clear next move. That is how the ungovernable stay ahead. They don't just let motivation decide if they'll act, their system does. And that is why, while most people are still waiting for the perfect moment, they've already built momentum that compounds day after day. Isn't that the kind of momentum you want working for you instead of against you? Because right now, if you are not taking action, momentum is working against you. And this is how you turn it around. And I know coming up with 90 days worth of daily actions is not an easy task either, and most people get stuck here. So you know what's the best way to not get stuck having to figure out what that daily action should be? Following a pre-built plan that removes all the guesswork. So that way you don't have to figure out. You just follow the steps of more experienced people who have already gone through the struggles and the trials and errors. This is what smart entrepreneurs do. Most of you guys don't realize, but when Bill Gates first launched Microsoft, he didn't build Windows from scratch. He licensed an existing OS from a small company and rebranded it as MS-DOS. Why? Because that was infinitely easier to do than building it from the ground up. When big companies like Amazon want to get into a new industry that they don't have much expertise in, how do they go about it? Do they spend years building it themselves? No, they acquire a company that's already doing it successfully. Why? Because they already figured it out and went through all of the mistakes for them. They know that starting something from scratch is incredibly risky, and the safer path is just to follow the steps of someone who did it already. Even Elon Musk with SpaceX, when he went about building their first rocket, he didn't try to build everything from scratch at first. The first thing he did was try to acquire the models from the Russians, so that way he didn't have to do everything himself. Smart people don't try to reinvent the wheel. They acquire the plan from people who have already done what they want to do. So even if Bill Gates, Elon Musk, and the world's biggest companies always take the proven path first, why are you still trying to figure things out on your own? Why not follow a plan that has already been proven to work? This way, you don't have to figure things out. You just have to execute. Wouldn't that be much easier than going through trial and error and risking never figuring it out in the first place? Now, once you've committed to taking one daily action and acquired your 90-day action plan, the second personal upgrade is making sure those actions are actually moving you in the right direction. Because even with consistent input, if you're always acting from your own perspective, you'll keep running into the same walls. Remember the example I gave earlier. You jump from dropshipping one week to crypto the next week, then affiliate marketing, then AI tools, always chasing the latest trends while while juggling your day job and family responsibilities. You think you're being strategic, but someone with experience could tell you that you're never giving anything enough time to actually work. It's like a flight that's just 1 degree off course. At takeoff, that small error seems insignificant, but after flying for hours, that tiny deviation puts you hundreds of miles away from your destination. The same thing happens in business. A small blind spot in your approach, whether it's topic selection, monetization strategy, or business model choice, compounds over time until you're completely off track. The problem is you can't see your own blind spots, and that's exactly why you keep repeating the same mistakes. You don't know what you don't know. The easiest way to fix that, get external feedback. Stop relying on your own feedback for topics you know nothing about. And that's why after this session, I want you to take your 90-day plan and show it to your mentor for feedback. Every successful person I have ever studied had someone keeping them accountable, a coach, a mentor, a business partner, a competent team around who could see things that they couldn't. Warren Buffett had Ben Graham as his mentor. Steve Jobs had Steve Wozniak as his technical co-founder who could execute the vision that Jobs couldn't build himself. I myself have a very competent team around me, consistently giving me feedback and helping me adjust my inputs. Without them, I'd be making the same blind spot mistakes everyone else makes when they try to do everything alone. The pattern is universal. Every breakthrough comes from having external eyes on your approach, people who can spot what you can't see from inside your own perspective. And that is your second personal upgrade, getting external feedback instead of trusting only your own perspective. And if you don't have a mentor, that right there explains why you keep repeating the same patterns. Now, Once you have your 90-day plan and someone to give you external feedback, the last personal upgrade you need is actually the easiest, because this third personal upgrade is simply about understanding your advantages. Most people in the same position as you just tell themselves, oh, once I learn more skills, once I have more money saved up, once I have a bigger audience, then I'll be ready. And if that's you, good, because what you don't realize is you're not too late to the game. You are not behind. You are actually perfectly positioned. You see, every so-called disadvantage you think is holding you back is actually the very thing that gives you the edge in the small. You don't have technical skills? Well, why do you think that's a problem? Let's actually unwrap this. Think about the last time you used an app or tool that just did the hard work for you. Maybe it was Google Maps showing you the fastest route, or Canva turning your messy idea into polished design. Did you need to be a programmer in order to use Google Maps? Did you need to be a professional designer to use Canva? Of course not. You just pressed a few buttons and it worked. Well, creating a digital product today works the exact same way. It's no longer about years of training or becoming an expert. It's about knowing where to click and letting the tools do the heavy lifting. So let's think about that from the opposite stance here. Who's actually in the better position here? The guy who spent years boxing himself into one narrow skill set, or you who can skip the entire learning curve and create products on any topic that you choose without needing to master the technical side first? Another hidden advantage that most people don't realize is that they have limited time. Okay, you're working, you're studying, you're managing a million responsibilities already. I get it. And the fact that you don't have lots of time actually means that you're not going to waste your time doing dozens of random activities that don't take you anywhere, like most people do when trying to launch a business. Instead, you only focus on the very thing that matters most, the one single action you need to take that day, simply because you don't have time to take any other actions. And that's actually a huge advantage, okay? Another hidden advantage is when people think, oh, I don't have any authority. Who's going to buy my product? But let me ask you this. When you're buying something online, whether that's a book on Amazon or a gadget on some random store, how often do you check if the seller has millions of followers? Hardly ever. You cared about whether the product solved your problem or if the solution was presented in a way that made sense. That is exactly how your buyers think. They're not scrolling through your Instagram page. They're asking one thing: does this help me? You see, the very things you thought were disadvantages, no audiences, no content, no time, are now your biggest assets, because they force you to do things the smart way, faceless, simple, lean, focused. And that's exactly the path to win in this game. So your third personal upgrade is this: stop seeing yourself as not ready yet and start seeing yourself as exactly who this was designed for. Your beginner's perspective isn't a weakness. It's not something you have to fix. It's actually the most valuable thing that you bring to the table. So instead of waiting until you feel qualified enough, I want you to flip that belief on its head. I want you to embrace your fresh eyes, your clean slate, and your hunger as a beginner, because that shift in mindset alone, that one decision to see your beginner status as an advantage, not a limitation, is what will carry you to your first sale. From your first sale to your 10th sale, from your 10th to your 100th, all the way to becoming ungovernable. And just like your personal problems become your business problems, your personal advantages will become your business advantages. Okay? Now, we have covered the complete three-step system. You understand that all things most people use as excuses, no audience, no technical skills, no expertise, are actually hidden advantages that force you to do things the smart way. You understand how people truly learn and achieve progress through the learning machine protocol, and why 95% of people get stuck in input mode without reaching the feedback that creates results. You understand that to kick off this cycle, all you need is a single decision, the decision to take action. You understand that all you need to take one action is to take one action a day for 90 days. You know the three personal upgrades that install an ungovernable identity: taking a single daily action, getting external feedback, and adopting the beginner's advantage mindset. So here's what I want you to do next. Sit down and develop your 90-day plan of action that you will take. Then you're going to take this to a mentor and ask for their external feedback, so that way you know if you're going in the right direction. This will be your plan to disappear and come back ungovernable in 90 days. And that brings us to the decision we agreed that we would make today. We are getting to the end of this challenge, okay? So it is now time for us to make that decision. With about 90 days left in 2025, you have a rare window to disappear from your current limitations and emerge ungovernable. We have reached that moment where you need to choose your path forward, not just think about it, not just consider it, but actually decide. And there are two ways we can go about this. There's the easy way and there's the hard way. The hard way in this case is that you need to come up with this 90-day plan yourself. You need to figure things out on your own. You need to find a mentor willing to give you feedback. It means relying not only on your own willpower, hoping you don't slip back into the same old patterns once life inevitably gets busy, and it means wasting precious time on avoidable mistakes, time that could already be compounding into results if you had the right guidance. Most people take this route, and almost all of them end up frustrated, burned out, and right back where they started. The easiest way is You don't have a plan? You don't have a mentor? Well, I can give you all of that. So then all you need to do is simply follow the instructions where feedback comes in real time. So instead of wasting months chasing the wrong thing, you can make the right adjustments in days, where daily structure and accountability keeps you consistent even when motivation dips. And when you know that you're not walking the road alone, okay? You got people by your side who have already faced and solved the exact challenges that you are about to encounter. Imagine what changes when you're not just forcing yourself to push forward, but actually being pulled forward by an entire community moving in the same direction. That is the easy way, and it's the exact same way that all these people you've seen over the last few days have chosen. They've all decided to take advantage of Monetize to give them the complete implementation system built to take you from commitment to consistent execution, the exact 90-day action plan, and the external feedback to adjust your actions. Success doesn't come from studying more. It comes from doing one clear thing every single day. And you already know that. And that's why I designed Monetize to make this process inevitable. Every morning, you're going to wake up knowing the exact step to take. No guesswork, no maybe this, maybe that, okay? Just one decisive move forward that keeps the cycle in motion. And over 90 days, those simple daily actions stack into real results. Digital products created, product pages set live, systems built, proof you can point to instead of ideas that never left your head. That is how Monetize compresses years of trial and error into 90 days of systematic progress. It is all broken down into 4 pillars of implementation: develop, monetize, deliver, and scale, with the exact daily actions you need to take at each step for the 90 days. Pillar number 1 is develop. In your first 2 weeks, it is all about creation. Every single day, you're going to take one clear step towards developing a market-ready digital product, from choosing your topic to validating market demand to having your first digital product ready to sell. No blank page, no guesswork, just daily action that compounds. Pillar number 2 is monetize. In weeks 3 and 4, the focus shifts to monetization. Daily actions guide you through creating a structure that converts complete strangers into buyers for your digital product, even if you don't have an audience. One action a day. Pillar number 3 is deliver. In weeks 5 and 6, you lock in automation. Each day, you're going to set up a piece of your delivery system so that once sales actually start rolling in, fulfillment happens automatically, whether it's one customer or 1,000, because WAP allows us to do for free what other platforms charge thousands of dollars for. Pillar number 4 is scale. In the final weeks, you step into leverage. Every day, a single focused action expands your income streams, unlocks new products, and builds a progression ladder that takes you from your first sales to 10, 100, and 1,000. This is your 90-day implementation plan, completely done for you. 90 days of guided daily actions to pull you out of learning mode and keep you in earning mode. Now, ideally, at the end of every week, you should be sitting down with a mentor, someone who can look at your results, point at your blind spots that you can't see, and help you adjust your input for the next round. This is exactly the missing piece that keeps most people stuck in cycles of repeated mistakes. And that is why I built something very, 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 very special for you guys watching today, okay? Inside Monetize, you're not just getting the full implementation system and the 90-day action plan. You're also getting Ask Eman, okay? Your personal feedback engine. I introduce Ask Eman AI. You see, for the past year, I've been building something designed to solve the single biggest challenge in becoming ungovernable, having 24/7 access to real, battle-tested feedback and guidance from someone who's already lived this life. Because let's be honest, most people don't fail from lack of information. The internet is drowning in tips and advice. What kills progress is not knowing how to make the right decision at the right time. When you're up at 2 a.m. and you're staring at your laptop, wondering if you should pivot your product, adjust your pricing, or double down on a campaign, who do you ask? Google? Some random gurus, your friends who've actually never even built a business before? That's why so many people stay stuck. And that's exactly what Ask Eman AI solves. I've taken my entire 9-year journey, every win, every failure, every hard lesson, and fed it into a system available for you 24/7. Every video I've ever published, every paid program I've created, thousands of hours of content, hundreds of strategies, countless case studies and breakthroughs, and the mindset shifts that separates those who make it from those who don't. Every single insight, every framework I've developed, every mistake I've made, everything I've learned from every breakthrough moment I've captured, it is all there, processed and ready to guide your specific decisions. It's like having my brain on demand, ready to give you direct, no BS answers tailored to the exact situation that you are in. Think of it as a mentor that never sleeps, a vault of experience and clarity you can tap into anytime, day or night. How much easier would it be for you to succeed if, instead of losing weeks over a single stuck point, you could get answers in seconds and move forward with certainty every single time? Well, this is exactly what I'm making available at no extra cost for those who join Monetize until the end of today's session. How much time, frustration, and money would you save if you could skip months of trial and error with instant feedback before you waste time going down the wrong paths? That is what I'm proposing here. for you to get unstuck immediately when facing obstacles that would normally derail your progress for weeks. This is like having me sitting next to you for every decision, except with perfect memory of every lesson I've ever been taught. You are getting unlimited access to my entire strategic knowledge base, something that's taken me literally nearly a decade to build. Think about it. How many times have you gone stuck on something for days or even weeks, wondering if you're making the right move, second guessing every decision, only to realize later you were overthinking something that could have been solved in minutes with the right guidance? That is the power of having my entire strategic brain available 24/7. No more wondering, oh, am I doing this right? How many times have you been stuck on a critical decision? Okay. It is so much easier just to have me there. Okay. As I said, you're going to have this entire process. Okay. And you're going to have me basically almost looking over your shoulder, okay? And that is how much more easier that this is going to make your life. As I said, this is what you get with Ask Eman AI. Now, on top of that, there's a ton of other bonuses that you're also going to get when you join Monetize Today. Bonus number 2 is the 12-month coaching. Remember what I said earlier about most people failing because they can't get quality feedback to adjust their approach. On top of the Ask Eman AI, you also get 12 months of intensive coaching. This gives you the mentors to provide you the external feedback you need to adjust your inputs properly. 52 weeks of intensive guidance through every obstacle that stops people from becoming ungovernable. Instead of guessing what went wrong, you get expert support to guide your next moves. What if instead of figuring everything out alone, you had experts telling you exactly what needs to change? Wouldn't that make all of the difference? Bonus number 3 is digital product formula. Now, you know what happens after you create your first digital product? Most people hit a wall. They don't know what to create next. They struggle to get consistent sales. They end up with a single product that makes them maybe $500 a month if they're lucky. That is why you get digital product formula. This is a complete step-by-step implementation system used by students who generate $8.9 million in 90 days after our last challenge. Every click, every strategy mapped out from first idea to ungovernable income. This alone eliminates the guesswork that keeps most people stuck at their first product forever. All recorded in easy to follow classes where you're going to watch me build a digital product live over the shoulder. Can you imagine the relief of never having to wonder what is the next step because every single move is mapped out for you? Think of it as having me as your personal trainer, but instead of building muscle, we're building your financial freedom. Wouldn't it be better to know your next move, okay? And know it in detail each time. Bonus number 4 is Monetize Mania competition. Here's another problem. Without real stakes, most people treat this like just a hobby. They dabble, they procrastinate, and they never push through the discomfort that creates real results. And that is why I'm funding the Monetize Mania competition with $350,000 in total prizes. And here is why this isn't just about the money. This competition runs for exactly 90 days, the exact same 90 days we've been talking about throughout this entire episode. It's designed to align perfectly with your transformation window. While you're disappearing to become ungovernable, you're also competing for life-changing rewards that make that transformation even more inevitable. The grand prize is a $40,000 Patek Philippe watch plus 4 $10,000 Rolexes and 5 Cartiers for top performers. And the top 10 also get an exclusive seat at my $25,000 mastermind. Now, when you're competing for life-changing rewards over the next time frame of your ungovernable transformation, you push past limitations that normally hold you back. The 90-day competition window isn't random. It is the perfect amount of time to disappear, transform, and emerge with both results and rewards to show for it. So tell me, doesn't that make the next 90 days the most important of your life? Bonus number 5 is list of 100 profitable non-expert digital products, okay? Then, most people waste months researching what products to create, analyzing markets, and second-guessing their ideas while profitable opportunities slip away, which is why you have the 100 profitable product list. We tracked over 30 million digital product sales to identify the 100 most profitable low-competition digital product topics. So while others guess what might work, you get the exact opportunities that generate consistent income. We compiled the top 100 in this untapped goldmine database with insider data on pricing strategies, target audiences, and success patterns. It is like having the answers before taking the test. Can you see how having this market intelligence eliminates the biggest risk in digital products, which is choosing a niche that doesn't make money? Bonus number 6 is Synthesize AI 3.0. The biggest challenge is creating expert level products when you're not an expert. Most people either give up or spend years trying to become authorities in fields they know nothing about. That is where Synthesize AI comes in, the world's most powerful digital product creation engine. This AI processes 150 expert sources simultaneously and creates expert level products faster than actual experts. Think of it as a slot machine that never requires money. You can pull the lever until you hit the jackpot. Can you see how this makes the game completely different for you, allowing you to tap into even more markets that you knew nothing about? Bonus number 7 is Ghostwriter OS. Listen, Here's what stops most people from scaling. They create one product and have no idea how to create a monetization system that turns strangers into buyers, which is exactly why you get Ghostwriter OS worth $2,999. It creates your entire monetization system for you, from your product page to your page script, regardless of whether you know anything about marketing or not. How much faster would you grow if you had a system like that built out for you? Bonus number 8 is your success tribe. You see, building an ungovernable lifestyle alone is unnecessarily difficult and lonely, okay? Most people give up because they're surrounded by people who don't understand the journey, which is why you get your success tribe. That is a community full of ambitious people at every stage of building their ungovernable lifestyle, because when you are surrounded by people moving in the same direction, success becomes inevitable. Do you think it's easier to win when you don't have to walk alone? Bonus number 9 is perfect product insurance policy. And the way it works is very, very simple. If you haven't made your first sale within 60 days, my team will personally step in. Okay, we will personally review your product and monetization strategy, and then give you a clear plan on exactly what to adjust. Your unique values on your product packaging and format, your pricing strategy, your monetization strategy. No guessing, no wondering what went wrong, just direct feedback to get you back on track. This way, even if you do everything wrong, you can still find success because our team will personally help you. This way, you don't even need to trust yourself on getting things right. You just need to trust our team. The same team that services our $25,000, $100,000, even $250,000 clients at consulting.com. Don't you think that with a team like this, you are far more likely to achieve success even if you do things wrong? Can you see how this insurance policy forces progress no matter what? Now, let me break down exactly what you are getting here. The digital product formula alone is worth $2,997. The Monetize Mania competition, I'm funding it with $350,000 in total prizes. 100 profitable products list is valued at $1,497. Synthesize AI, you literally can't even buy the software anywhere right now. It's priceless. Ghostwriter AI is $2,999. 12-month coaching is worth over $3,000 in value. Your Success Tribe community access, also priceless. And Ask Eman, that's over $10,000 in value, and it is exclusive to this day only. If you tried to get all of these things separately, you'd be looking at tens of thousands of dollars in value. But you're not paying tens of thousands. No. You're not even paying $10,000, okay? Hell, you're not even paying $5,000. Right now, you can secure your complete monetized access with all of these bonuses for just $1,995. And because you are here live during this exclusive episode, you get Ask Eman AI, which costs us thousands and thousands and thousands a month to operate, for absolutely free when you join Monetize for just $1,995. This is only available until the end of today's session. After we end this, it is gone forever. Look, if you're still here, you've already made the decision to get into digital products. You know that already. The only decision left is whether you want to do this the hard way, figuring everything out alone through trial and error, or the easy way with a proven system and guidance every step of the way. Exactly how all of these people succeeded. So here's what I want you to do right now. Click the link I'm dropping in the pinned comment in the live chat and lock in your spot. I'm dropping the link in 3, 2, 1 now. You can also join at joineman.com in case you are watching from a TV or any device where you can't click. You can literally just type this out in your browser, joineman.com, and it will take you to the enrollment page. And yes, flexible payment options are available. This is the only time Ask Eman AI will ever be included. So go to joineman.com, click that link, and let's make the next 90 days the period that changes everything for you. Now, here is where I take this to a level that no one else in this industry would dare to. I would like to say, okay, that what you need is to learn how to create an asset that generates money consistently on demand over and over. Once you have that skill, money becomes a byproduct. Your problem gets solved not by having more cash today, but by having the ability to create cash whenever you need it. And that's exactly what I want you to build with Monetize. So if you don't make at least a 10x return on your investment over the next 12 months using the system, here's what happens. We will keep working with you until you do. All coaching access, all community support extended for as long as it takes for you to hit that milestone. We track everything through WAP in real time, every sale, every customer, every dollar. We can verify your progress as it happens, which means we know exactly when you've hit your goal. Think about what this means. You literally cannot fail unless you quit. I'm taking 100% of the risk here. The only risk on your end is the risk of success. Most business coaches charge $5,000 just to look at your situation. High-level consultants charge $25,000 for the strategies that I'm giving you unlimited access to. You're getting everything for just $1,995 at joineman.com with a safety net that we will work with you until you win. If finances are tight right now, we've negotiated the best financing options this market has ever seen through WAP. We're talking about breaking this down into payments that anyone serious about changing their situation can manage. Just check the options at checkout and just tap the link in the chat. Now it is time for us to have some fun with our Q&A one last time. This is the part of the session that you will only see if you are here live. Everything else from this point out will get cut. So just remember, if you leave this live session, you will never be able to see it again. And with that, I introduce my co-host, Jason, which you guys all seem to love. Jason, welcome back.